Hello everybody, I'm David Cohen, the CEO of Fluence. Welcome to Fluence Unfiltered. Today I'm talking to Janeen Wright, and she's the head editor for Greenhouse Grower, a go-to publication for growers of ornamental crops, greenhouse vegetables, cannabis, hemp, and other floriculture crops. Let's get started. So I'm really excited. Thanks for being with us, Janeen. It's really good to see you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into this profession?
Yeah, sure, Dave. Thanks for having me. I kind of got in this roundabout way. I wanted to go into horticulture. My intentions were to work in a greenhouse or be landscaping or something. So I got my bachelor's in horticulture, worked for the Park Service for a few years in the landscaping, and had my own floral design business for a while. And then once I moved to Ohio with my family, I got a job at the Herb Society of America, being their educator and horticulturist and kind of editor for their magazine. And from there, Meister hired me on. They were looking for a couple editors that had plant knowledge and stuff to go along with the writing. So that's how I got involved with Meister. I started there as their custom content editor for about a year. And then they had some changes on the Greenhouse Grower brand. And so they moved me down there, and that was kind of my, happy place. And I've been there ever since for the last 10 years working on that brand in different capacities.
10 years reporting on greenhouses and the industry.
Right.
We're going to have a lot to talk about today.
Yes, lots changed.
Yeah, excellent. Well, tell us a little bit about the magazine Greenhouse Grower. What do they do? How's it changed since you've been there to where it is now? What type of topics do you cover? And what are your passions?
Yeah, so sure. So Greenhouse Grower serves an audience of commercial greenhouse. When I first started, it was all floriculture crops. So, annuals, perennials, tropicals, and houseplants, things like that. Over the years, we progressed to, realizing there's so many more crops nowadays that are being grown in the greenhouses. So we've added in cannabis and vegetable crops in there. And we pretty much focus on, different areas. Production is a big focus for us, getting out good, solid production information to the growers, new variety informations, what's the latest plants coming out there. And then we have a real technology focus on just the equipment, the transplanters, the lighting, all that kind of stuff. Our biggest purpose is just getting the information out to the growers, getting good information out to them. Information what's going on now as well as what's coming down the pipe. And I think for me, my passion is just as I've worked with these growers, they're so dedicated to their jobs and quality in what they do. And so I would say that's something that's changed too. When I first started, it was strictly greenhouse and that was it. But now, we're looking into vertical farming, we're looking into the warehouse growing, even some of the more advanced growing in wind tunnels and hoop houses and things like that, because we're starting to realize controlled environment, there's a lot of different components of that. And so we're doing a lot of exploration right now on our brand about what should we be covering and how do we bring those elements into the brand.
No, that's really good. You talk about the different types of products that can be grown in greenhouses and vertical farms and whatnot. I'd really like to dive into all of it, but to start with something like cannabis. So for Fluence, we really started as a lighting company for cannabis growers. It's still a major part of what we do, but we've diversified into floriculture, we've diversified into vegetables and into vertical farming. But when we look at cannabis today, I think it's a very interesting time in the market. We're seeing monumental changes negatively, almost at the same rate or faster than we were seeing monumental changes positively at the beginning of COVID. And I'm just wondering, from where you guys sit, are you seeing similar market pressures and the depression of the cost per pound and the increased cost of capital and the stress that it's putting on growers? Do you have a similar view on that?
Yeah, certainly. We're hearing from growers, especially, the cost of producing it versus that the cost per pound is going down. And there's a lot of concern around that. Is that going to go the same way as we've seen hemp grow, which has really, stalled that market for some time. And I think too, with all the rising cost of inputs and things for this plant, because we know it's finicky, it's not the easiest one to grow, Plus, it can be a little labor intensive. Growers are seeing the pinch there on the labor side, and and then you bring in like the state regulations and some of those, and dealing with that, competing with the black market guys, and there's a lot of forces that are it's a few stressors on these growers.
Up next on Fluence Unfiltered, we'll tap into Janeen's insights on trending technologies and how they've improved plant production. To be alerted when our next episode goes live, be sure to subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss it.